Hi, I'm a stroke. I have a heart and I have a fascia. So he's right there, both of you. But you know, it's very hard for myself. It's hard. My fascia is hard. So help me. Yeah.
Well, let me say a few things first. Is that no matter what challenges individuals face in life, ones that come with them at birth or ones that are thrust upon them because of health challenges that they have in their life or other challenges, I believe this is the most compassionate, caring country that the world has ever seen. And what we want for people who are challenged and in pain is for them to find relief and hope and help. The government doesn't always provide that. And the government should be in the business of helping to provide that hope, working with you. And folks in the private sector as well, the healthcare, research, to be able to give you the opportunities you need to be able to feel whole and full and happy. That's why I had the conversation I had regarding addiction at the beginning. No matter what disease it is, whether it's what you are now afflicted with or addiction that I talked about before, the pain that comes along with that is something that we all have to acknowledge and talk about in order to try to help understand how we can best help you to reach the fullest potential that you have inside your heart and inside your mind. And I can see in your eyes the frustration and the sadness that this brings to you. And it touches my heart. And as president, the best you can do is to try to make sure that everybody who works for you understands that these decisions are not just decisions on a piece of paper, but they affect the lives of people just like you every day in ways that can be profoundly good or profoundly disappointing. And so I wish you all the best, and the promise that I can make to you as president is that I'll try to bring that type of attitude to work every day and try to set that example for folks every day. And hopefully that'll lead to developments and changes that'll help to make your life better with your effort, your help, and with God's intervention as well. Running for president is the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life because of moments like that, and that, and that, and that. Because when you stand up and you offer yourself for service to the people of your country, and you go out to meet the people of your country to ask them for their vote and their support and their confidence, you're going to be confronted by things that you never could have expected you'll be confronted with. You'll be confronted with enormous, generous support from people that you've never met before, who will reach out and say, I want to help you, I want to donate to you, I want to work for you, I want to call my friends and tell them to vote for you. You'll be met with awfully difficult and principled opposition from folks who just fundamentally disagree with who you are and what you stand for. You'll be met with ambivalence from folks who think that the system is so broken and so ugly and so inefficient and ineffective that they just don't care to participate anymore because they're disgusted and they just wish you'd leave them alone and let them do whatever they're doing in their lives. You'll be confronted by enormous highs, by meeting people who are so incredibly successful, so incredibly interesting, that you won't even be able to believe the conversations you're having. And you'll be met by some incredible despair of people who are fighting every day to make their lives just a little bit better and frustrated by the fact that they can't because of a physical disability or a mental disability, an addiction, a difficulty that everyone's tried to help them with, but that they can't seem to get over the line on. And the amazing thing about this country is that all those aspirations and that despair, all those hopes and those fears are all put into the office of President of the United States. That we still believe in this country that if we have a president who understands and cares, who's brave and who's smart, that he or she can make a difference in every one of those problems. To be a person who's standing in the center of a room like this and asking for the opportunity to do that, I can tell you it's overwhelming every day. But overwhelming in a good way, not in a bad way for me. Because it makes me anxious to get there and get to work, to try to move the ball a little bit further down the field for somebody. And when I was confronted by those different folks on the addiction video who came to me, it made me even more anxious to want to have my voice heard on that issue. When I hear from you tonight, it makes me even more anxious to want to have an opportunity to reach out and help folks who feel as if help is just a little bit outside their grasp, and just push it a little closer so you can grab it and feel it. And that's what the presidency is all about. In its very best moments, that's what it's about. And you're going to want somebody who's tested and ready and mature to be able to deal with these issues and to try to make a difference. And you all have an outsized and, totally outsized role in that process, especially when there's 15 people running for President of the United States on our side. You're going to winnow the field. You, more than you usually are going to be the wine tasters for American politics. You're going to be the ones who decide who gets to go on and who goes home. And so, I ask you tonight for your consideration, for your vote, for your support, for your confidence. See, I'd love to have your vote, because if I get your votes, I'm going to be president. But that's not enough. I need your support and your confidence, too. See, the votes get me to the White House. The support and the confidence gives me an opportunity to make a difference in the problems that we've talked about tonight. Because you're going to need that feeling as president every day when you get up in the morning, because the problems are going to be enormous and the pressures are going to be incredible. But also, the opportunities are going to be extraordinary too. See, to be president of the greatest country the world's ever known. And see, I don't believe the government's what makes us great. I believe it's the American people that make us great, and the government just tries to make sure that we move your greatness in a direction that makes us even better. And so the reason I love coming to Iowa and New Hampshire so much is because you get to do this in a room this size. If I'm fortunate enough to be the nominee and we get to that convention in Cleveland in July and I'm accepting the nomination, it'll be a long time, I suspect, until I'm in a room in this size again. And for us to be able to have a conversation like this. But it is these conversations that will form the basis of my memory of what it's going to mean to be President of the United States. I guarantee you, because I remember these stories, I guarantee you when Mary Peck and I get in the White House and we have some folks over for dinner and people are asking us about what was it like to run and get elected president, I guarantee you in one of those dinners I'm going to be talking about Cheryl. I guarantee you. I'm going to say, you wouldn't believe, one night we're in this American Legion Hall in Iowa, and man, this woman thought that there might be something, a little monkey business going on here between me and a member of my staff, and thank God it turned out to be my wife. And we'll laugh and we'll remember fondly tonight. And when I get to do something as president for folks who face the challenges the stroke and aphasia bring to you, I'm going to remember you coming here tonight and having the courage to sit here and to raise your hand and to express that to me, hoping that if I got the chance to be president, that I could make a difference. And when we have big battles and arguments on education, I'm definitely going to remember you and your shirt. I know that. I'm going to remember it. And I saw your shirt when you raised your hand, and I said, I know what's coming, but I'm going to call on her anyway. And the fact is that that's an argument that we should be having in public with zealous advocates on either side of the issue, so the American people can hear both sides and then can decide what they think is the best course for the country. I'll remember that too. And so people say this process is too long, and some people complain about it, it's too onerous. And listen, are there days when I go back to a hotel somewhere here in Iowa or New Hampshire and I'm wiped out and say, well, gosh, this is hard? Yeah, but it should be hard, because being president is going to be real hard. And you need to be ready. And you folks are helping me get ready to be president of the United States. So thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for braving the weather. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your really good questions. And I look forward to earning your vote